What's good, Panther Nation? It's your boy, Myron McRae, a.k.a. McRae, across the scouts of the internet, here with another episode of Panther Pride TV, your one-stop shop for all your Panther notifications and your Panther obligations. This is actually the second time I'm recording this video because I accidentally pressed the end record button the first time, but I hope y'all are having a fantastic Tuesday, especially those who had to go back to work today. I know, long weekend, you don't feel like doing it, but guess what, man? You are one step closer to the weekend, so it is okay. It is okay. Plus, summer's around the corner. You know, I know some of y'all got vacation time saved up and you're ready to get up out of there for your vacation, spend time with your family, or, you know what, go do something out on the beach and go enjoy yourself. So look forward to that. And also, I do want to take a second to wish my godson Micah, today is his second birthday. Happy birthday, Micah. Uncle Myron can't be there right now, but don't worry, I will be seeing you soon, man. And I look forward to being able to spend some time with y'all. But guys, let's go ahead, get into today's docket. And the first thing that has been announced is the Panthers have released the full roster ahead of OTAs. So I'm actually kind of happy about that. I love to see it. And let's go ahead and look at this breakdown, y'all. So as we're looking at the roster, at our quarterbacks, Andy Dalton, Ethan Garbers, Jack Plummer, and Bryce Young. No surprise. Running backs, Amani Bailey, Raheem Blackshear, Rico Dowdle, Trevor Etienne, Chuba Hubbard, and Karen Lynch-Adams. Cool. Our wide receiver core, deep, and we've talked about them. Chisena, Coker, George, Horn Jr., Kobe Hudson, Xavier Legette, TJ Luther, Tedero McMillan, David Moore, Renfro, Adam Thielen, and Bryson Tremaine. That is the first half of the roster. Then we look at part two. And for the offensive tackles, Ike Ekwonu, Taylor Moton, Josh Najiman, I hope I pronounced that right, Michael Tarkin, and Brandon Walton. Tight ends, Dominic Daphne, Mitchell Evans, James Mitchell, Bryce Pierre, Jatavian Sanders, Tommy Tremble. Our guards, Jatir Carter, Brady Christensen, Robert Hunt, Luke Kandra, Jared Kingston, Damian Lewis, Stephen Lasoa, and Chandler Zavala. And then at our centers, we have Austin Corbett and Cade Mays. Then, when we go to the defensive side, at the D-line position, you got Bobby Brown III, Derek Brown, Jaden Cremetti, Jared Harrison Hunt, Cam Jackson, LeBrian Ray, Sam Roberts, Ashawn Robinson, Shai Tuttle, and Tershawn Wharton. Outside linebackers, you have Amari Barno, Bogle Basham, Thomas Income, DJ Johnson, Pat Jones II, Mapalo Mwasa, Prince Umamiela, and DJ Warnham. Nick Scorton has not officially signed yet, so that note has been made, hence why he may not be technically on the active roster, but he's there, you know, that type of deal. And then inside linebacker, you have Claudine Chirelis, Josie Jewell, Bam Martin Scott, Tuasivi Nomura, John Radigan, Christian Roseboom, Trevin Wallace, and Jacoby Windman. And last but not least, guys, we got to go into the secondary and whatnot. And at the corners position, Shamar Bartholomew, Jatravius Broughton, MJ Devonshire, Caleb Evans, JC Horn, Mike Jackson, Michael Reed, Shaul Smith-Wade, and Corey Thornton. And then safeties, Isaac Gifford, Jack Henderson, Trevon Morig, Lathan Ransom, Damani Richardson, Nick Scott, Trevian Thomas. And then at the special teams, Ryan Fitzgerald, J.J. Jansen, Sam Martin, and Matthew Wright. Woo! Yo, that is a lot of names. And if I butcher some of the names, guys, just help me out, because some of them I am just pronouncing them the way I would honestly try to pronounce the name. I'm doing my best to also pronounce these names correctly. So I apologize if I did butcher some of those names. Please don't kill me. Please don't kill me. So I do apologize about that. But as I look at the roster, honestly, I have a question for each position. Like heading into OTAs, there's one question that plagues each position. So for example, when we look at it, I'll go by position, roster spot by roster spot. So for the quarterback position, who's going to be QB3? Is it Plummer or is it Garbers? I think that's a good question to ask there. For the running backs, who becomes RB3, Etienne or Blackshear? And then whoever's RB4, do they potentially lose that spot to Lynch, Adams, or Bailey? I don't think it's far out of the realm for that to happen, but, it's just something to keep in mind and just always be mindful of. And at the receiver position, how many receivers do we keep on this active roster? Oh, man, because we know we're keeping Coker. We know we're keeping Leggett. We know we're keeping McMillan, David Moore, Renfro, and Thielen. Those are 6 I am 100% sure we're keeping. Coker, Leggett, McMillan, Moore, Renfro, Thielen, and Jimmy Horn. So that's 7 receivers. That's 7 receivers off rip. Do we keep Kobe Hudson, Dan Chisena? Did I say DJ Chisena earlier? I apologize if I did. I don't know why I think I did, but I think I did. But do we keep Kobe Hudson? Do we keep Dan Chisena? Does Jacoby George make it? TJ Luther? Do all the receivers make it? Do we only keep about 8? That's the question here, and I think it's a good question to ask. When we go to the offensive linemen and the big boys up front, real question here is, honestly, for the offensive tackles, I think it's more so, do we just continue to have success with our offensive tackles? Because I think we have a good amount there. 5 is a solid number. Our 2 starters have backups, and then there's one more player in rotation, so I think that's a good number. For the tight ends, who becomes tight end 1? That's the question I'm having here. Is it Evans, is it Sanders, or is it Trimble? Who becomes tight end 1? For our guards, how many of the guards do we keep? I think that's the main question there. How many do we keep on the active 53-man roster? And then for the centers, is 2 going to be enough to get us through the year? I know some people might not see the center position like that. Something in my gut is like, all right, 2, that's a little pushing it. That's pushing it a little bit. But, hey, it may work out in the best of circumstances. Then, when we go to the defensive side, obviously, the presumed starters are going to be Derek Brown, Bobby Brown, and Tershawn Wharton. So, who's going to be their backup? And then, how many defensive linemen are we keeping on the 53-man roster? That's obviously here and there. Outside linebackers. Who are the starters? Will it be Umamiela and Scorton? Will Pat Jones come into the mix? Will it be Wanham? Will it be a mixture of any of those guys? Will one of these other dudes show up like DJ Johnson or Income? Who's going to be the starting outside linebackers? I think that is a good question to ask here. Then, with the inside linebackers, who's going to be starting on the inside with Roseboom? I am very confident that we brought Christian Roseboom in, that he's already one of the day 1 starters, barring injury. Barring crazy injury, he's going to be one of the day 1 starters. You know what I mean? So, when I go back to that, who's going to be the inside starter with him? That is a good question there. And then when we go to the back end of this, obviously, the big question for the corners, who's going to be the opposite corner of J.C. Horn? Who's going to be that guy? Are we going to bring a guy in via trade, free agency, or are we going to trust the process here with somebody on the roster? For the safeties, who are going to be our starting safeties? Along with that, who's going to be the nickelback? Who's going to be that 5th guy? I think it's going to be Lathan. I am more than sure it's going to be Lathan Ransom because of how versatile he was in college. So I wouldn't be surprised if it's him. That is the thing. And then lastly, with the special teams, who's our kicker? Is it Ryan Fitzgerald or is it Matthew Wright? I need that kicking competition solidified before this is over. I want to know who's going to be the kicker. That's what I want to know. And I'm pretty sure y'all do too, because that person is probably going to come in handy a lot this year. So those are the questions I have looking at this roster heading into OTAs, but I'm still happy to see everybody healthy, active, and getting to it. Now, next thing we do want to talk about, I want to highlight the big boy up front, Taylor Moton, because he got highlighted by NFL.com, and I love to see it. I love it when the big boys get praise, man. They don't get enough praise, and I don't care what y'all say. But here's the deal that happened. So NFL.com's Gennaro Felice released an article on the most underappreciated players in the NFC heading into the 2025 season. So he has one player for each NFC team who is listed as the most underappreciated. And for Carolina, he named that player to be Taylor Moton. And this is what he had to say about him. He says, Moton is a rock-solid right tackle. That's really the best way to describe him. The last pick of the second round back in 2017, Moton took over the Panthers' starting right tackle job in 2018 and has capably manned it since. While he's never made a Pro Bowl, he has made 113 starts, including an Iron Man streak of 104 in a row that came to an end this past October when Moton would miss 2 games with a triceps injury. According to Pro Football's Focus charting, he's only allowed 1 sack in three of the past 4 seasons. To be clear, Moton is indeed appreciated by the Panthers, who gave him a 4-year, $71.25 million extension back in 2021. But as the 30-year-old heads into a contract season, I question whether the wider football-watching public recognizes Moton's immense value as a reliable booking in the league that just doesn't have enough quality offensive linemen. I'm glad he recognized it, man. I am so glad he recognized Moton's potential. But guys, I want to take it a step further. He did talk a little bit about Moton's stats, but I want y'all to see this. So, since Taylor has taken over the starting job, right? He mentioned he's had 113 games played. I want y'all to look at this breakdown. Moton has played 7,354 snaps. He has only had 12 false start penalties his whole career. His whole career. He's only had 12 false start penalties. His whole career, he's only had 8 holding penalties. In his whole career, he's only had 5 sacks allowed. Bro. That is crazy. When I looked at this, I'm like, these are the numbers I love to see for O-linemen. That's what I mean. Like, make these stats readily available, because that just shows how great this man has been since he became the full-time starter. Like, what are we talking about here? Like, he's definitely not underappreciated because we know what he's able to do. And if you don't appreciate him, I hope you do now. And it's just phenomenal to see what he's done on a football field. I am happy that he's no longer injury prone, or not injury prone, but he's no longer suffering from his injury, his triceps injury last year. He's back, he's healthy, he's ready to rock, and he's ready to be the great offensive lineman that we need him to be. Man, love it. I just love it. I just really do. And then lastly, guys, on today's docket, I know y'all see it, y'all kind of curious about it, but it's time for us to have a new GOAT conversation for Carolina. And I know some of y'all gonna be confused, like, what you mean by that? What do you mean we're having a new GOAT conversation? So I'm gonna tell you real quick. Here's the way it's going down, right? So this graphic came across my internets. Somebody sent it to me. It said each NFL team's GOAT, right? As you see here. And for Carolina, it has Cam Newton. Now, we've had this discussion before, and we've seen what the Athlon put in terms of top 10 greatest Carolina Panthers all time. So, when it comes to this GOAT conversation and whatnot, I want to have a new convo. Who is the GOAT of the Carolina Panthers, but you can't name the top 10 that was named on Athlon? So this is who Athlon had in their top 10, from 10 to 1. It was Greg Olsen, Ryan Khalil, Musa Muhammad, Jake Delhomme, Thomas Davis Sr., Sam Mills, Luke Kuechly, Steve Smith, Cam Newton, Julius Peppers. So who is the GOAT of the Carolina Panthers, but you cannot name any of those individuals? Some of you, it might be Jonathan Stewart. Some of you, D'Angelo Williams. Some may say Christian McCaffrey. Some might even say Mike Minter. Some could consider Wesley Walls. Jordan Gross is a name I've heard. And maybe even Kevin Green or anybody else. So I want to hear from y'all. Who y'all think that is? Like, let's get some conversations going outside of the conventional top 10 who we know should be top 10 considered the greatest Panther. Who is it? Who is it? I really want to know. But with all that being said, guys, that's the end of today's video. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to like, share, subscribe, and hit that notification bell at the bottom so you're always notified for when these videos are uploaded. And next, make sure, again, comment below and let me know how you feel about the OTA roster heading into OTAs, and what are some of the questions you would have for each position going into it. 2, do you think Taylor Moton is underappreciated from the NFL standpoint as one of the best offensive linemen in the league? And 3, who is the GOAT of the Carolina Panthers outside of the conventional top 10? Let me know all of that below, because at the end of the day, what do I know? I'm just a skinny brother with 2 tats. Peace. Much love to all of you, Panther Nation. Take care. Later days. And it's always keep pounding. I'll see you next time.